Welcome to another camera comparison video. Today we have Realme X50 Pro Player, Redmi K30 Pro Zoom Edition and Vivo X50 Pro 5G. Let us start with the main sensor. At the left it's Realme X50 Pro Player and this one comes with a 48 megapixel main sensor. In the middle it's Redmi K30 Pro Zoom Edition and this one comes with Sony IMX686 main sensor. At the right it's a Vivo X50 Pro and this one comes with a customized Sony IMX598 main sensor. At a glance, image produced by Redmi K30 Pro looks very lucrative. Blazing color and blue sky at the background looks good. However, skin tone, color grading and details are better and real on the image produced by Vivo X50 Pro. Image on the right is simply close to reality. Realme X50 Pro Player with an older main sensor tried its best. However, higher ambience and a lower contrast makes things look like overexposed. In terms of details and sharpness, once again, Vivo X50 Pro and Redmi K30 Pro is way ahead of Realme X50 Pro Player. Moving on to portrait, Realme X50 Pro Player and Redmi K30 Pro Zoom comes with dedicated depth sensor. Vivo X50 Pro 5G uses its 2x telephoto lens to map the depth and bokeh effect. I am a little surprised to see that Redmi K30 Pro Zoom gone little darker, Realme X50 Pro Player continued to be a little exposed and Vivo X50 Pro is a bit saturated. Yes, Redmi K30 Pro color tone is better. Vivo X50 Pro 5G bokeh effect is better. Its creamy bokeh effect makes the portrait images eye candy. Realme X50 Pro Player image is not that ordinary. Skin tone of the model is even better than Redmi K30 Pro. But check the background. Where are the colors? It seems like colors are washed out. Overall, my choice is Vivo X50 Pro 5G portrait images. But yeah, I understand and I agree that Redmi K30 Pro portrait images are not that far away. Now it's time for ultra-wide lens. 8 megapixel sensor on Realme X50 Pro Player, 13 megapixel sensor underneath the ultra-wide lens on Redmi K30 Pro Zoom, and another 8 megapixel sensor for ultra-wide shot on Vivo X50 Pro. Yeah, Redmi K30 Pro got a bigger sensor for ultra-wide shots, and with AI enabled, Redmi K30 Pro Zoom tries to add beautification and color grading after post-processing looks very beautiful. However, the overall image goes a little far from reality. In terms of brightness, details in the shadows and color grading, Realme X50 Pro Player does better and that's very close to reality. But once again, a bit overexposed. It's not too much, but a little upper curve on ISO makes the background less attractive. Finally, Vivo X50 Pro 5G has its own issues and that is white balance. There is some kind of yellow tint under harsh sunlight and that ruins a very good image. Also, even if details and sharpness is better on Vivo X50 Pro, it failed to identify dark areas and that's another issue. It was a wonderful day and I was really interested to see how the main sensor of these three smartphones perform. And things are really almost the same without much of a difference. Yes, this time details and sharpness is better on Redmi K30 Pro Zoom and Vivo X50 Pro 5G. White balance issue on Vivo X50 Pro 5G continues but less than that ultra-wide shot. Redmi K30 Pro also have that white balance issue on main sensor under harsh sunlight. And again, Redmi AI added artificial color grade with very high midtones. Realme X50 Pro Player also kept its trend but this time is not that exposed. Exposure issue is minimized. The truth is, at a glance, Realme X50 Pro Player image looks even better than the other two. Considering sharpness, background and colors, this time I would choose Vivo X50 Pro 5G image. From outdoor to indoor, and Vivo X50 Pro continued to have white balance issue. That yellow tone really hurts. Color tone drifted a bit from reality and it's no way an ideal image. Redmi K30 Pro AI tried to beautify. That red color is overprocessed with higher shadows and midtones. I am surprised to see that Realme X50 Pro Player got the correct color tone. Actually, its cool color temperature helped it a bit and it managed to reproduce colors with accuracy. Details in the shadows are definitely better on Redmi K30 Pro Zoom, but Realme X50 Pro Player represents reality. Yeah, some viewers and subscribers commented on other camera comparison video that I should try to take more photos of human objects. And here comes Karina. Vivo X50 Pro got the background color and skin tone correct. Overall color reproduction is almost perfect on Vivo X50 Pro. Redmi K30 Pro saturated the image, and as it tried to beautify human object, the images are less sharper than Vivo X50 Pro and Realme X50 Pro Player. Realme X50 Pro Player continued to overbrighten, overexpose, background and colors are a bit washed out. In terms of details and sharpness, all three did similar. However, Vivo X50 Pro is edge ahead of Redmi K30 Pro. Indoor portrait under low light. Yes, Redmi again gone dark. Vivo X50 Pro now have a low light portrait mode and that works fine. Is it a bit saturated? Yes, it is. And that's the only issue, cause edge detection and details of subject is better on Vivo X50 Pro. Realme X50 Pro Player got the skin tone and color grade correct. Now, indoor portrait under bright light, and Redmi K30 Pro produced an image that has the attributes of Realme X50 Pro Player. I mean, it's a bit bright and colors are a bit pale. Realme X50 Pro Player again reproduced the colors with perfection. Edge detection of all these three smartphones are similar as usual. However, bokeh effect of Vivo X50 Pro is better. Redmi K30 Pro seems a bit too blurry. I would leave these images for you. Please make a comment which one is better. No, you cannot take night mode photo with ultra-wide lens on Redmi K30 Pro. I think that's an issue. Vivo X50 Pro Player did the best, however this image is really not anywhere near to flagship class. Better we move to main sensors. Yes, I took these images at night under true darkness. Without any question, Vivo X50 Pro night mode did better. Realme X50 Pro Player fought hard. However, as there is no OIS on main lens, there are some blurriness as it takes a few seconds to take a night mode photo and any type of movement has bad effect. On the other hand, Redmi K30 Pro night mode is truly not as good as any other flagship. However, as Redmi K30 Pro Zoom Edition comes with OIS, that helps to get night mode images with less or almost no blurriness. Now I have tried to manually brighten up by selecting focus areas and tried to generate a better image. But what Redmi K30 Pro did is changed contrast ratio and brightness. Yes, that made things more visible, but the background also got a little washed out. Considering all the aspects, Vivo X50 Pro again produced a better image. Yeah, the name Super Night Mode on Vivo X50 Pro means a lot and that transforms into performance. I have found that most of the time nobody checks and compares the performance of LED flashlight. Yes, these images were taken with LED flash on and the results are very nice. Yeah, I am impressed. Redmi K30 Pro image is saturated, lower sharpness with details. Realme X50 Pro Player kept its cool tone and higher brightness. Vivo X50 Pro image is not that bright, however colors are almost perfect. If you check the floor, the trees and shadows, then you can see the differences. Time for selfie, and Redmi K30 Pro did good to brighten up the image. With beauty effect, all the colors are different. Things are more like soft and brushed to look better. Realme X50 Pro Player image is darker but the colors are close to reality. Vivo X50 Pro image is brighter than Realme X50 Pro Player, and color pop effect on RGB with ambience makes it lucrative. Surprisingly, edge detection on Realme X50 Pro Player is better. Check carefully and you will find the difference. Yeah, Redmi K30 Pro managed to create a cool creamy bokeh effect. Now it's true that Redmi K30 Pro image doesn't represent reality. However, that image is more than lucrative among these three. These video clips were recorded at 1080p 30 frames per second. I was carelessly holding the extended selfie stick where I have attached all of these three smartphones. Yeah, I have asked Karina to walk in front of me at a same pace or rhythm. I think exposure is pretty similar on all of these three smartphones. Yeah, Realme X50 Pro Player doesn't have optical image stabilization. Redmi K30 Pro Zoom and Vivo X50 Pro comes with OIS. But you need to know that Vivo got this new gimbal OIS, which is amazing. From what I see, I am pretty convinced that Vivo X50 Pro does offer better stabilization. Now check the buildings and structures carefully. Do you see jelly effect on the left? Yes, these clips were recorded at 4K 30 frames per second and Realme X50 Pro Player without OIS suffered a bit. colors of Redmi K30 Pro and Realme X50 Pro Player is almost pretty close. Details and structure is better on Redmi K30 Pro Zoom Edition. However, if you check the sky, then you can see the difference. White balance of Vivo X50 Pro this time kept things cool, and after checking carefully, stabilization of Vivo X50 Pro is really awesome. Anyway, I'm not gonna give any verdict. I have already given my verdict through this video. I wanna know your verdict. Please don't forget to make a comment, and if you have liked this video then please click on the like button. Also please subscribe to this channel.